little bit of a catch up of what's going on right now. We're gonna do a little bit more of a little garden update as the days go on here, but it's the 4th of July today. A lot of planes flying over with the holiday, and we have a little storm rolling in. We've had it rain once in the last 6 weeks, so even if it is a holiday day, bring on the rain. The garden really needs it. Look at how dead the grass is. You can see it's come back slightly from the last time that I posted, but looking forward to, there's a little rumble in the sky. Got some of the beautiful lilies over here are blooming. This garden just is really cute this time of year. It's got the beautiful pink lilies going. Doing our typical Minnesotan thing and sitting outside during the rainstorm. We do have an awning. Ooh, it's not helping much. So grateful for the rain. All right, well, welcome back to the garden. Today is July 10th of 2023. And there are just some really beautiful things happening around the garden, so I thought I would do just kind of a quick run around garden update to sort of show some of the beautiful things that are happening. We'll start with the one that's directly in front of me. The tree lilies are in full bloom, and I mean, I can smell them at my desk in my house through the window. It's they're beautiful. They're doing really well. I think that the majority of them just opened today. They started a couple of days ago, but they're just looking stunning. You can kind of see why I assume that they are the ones that blended with the pink ones to possibly create those. They're very, similar in looks. It does look like I have some issues with some bugs going on. I have been out here with my soapy water, letting them take a nice bubbly bath. So I've been getting a lot off of the castor beans in the back here, and so I didn't realize that they were over here too. Also, just a very few so far of the Japanese beetles showing up in my garden. Go through and show some of the beautiful milkweed flowers. All of the milkweeds are in full bloom right now, and there have been a ton of different bumblebees and monarch butterflies flying around, just seeing the beauty. I'm not sure if the camera is going to pick up this bumblebee's feet, but the bumblebees get in here and the pollen little stem things stick to their feet, and it's just funny because they look like they have, I don't know, fuzzy slippers on. They pick them off eventually and it doesn't really hurt them, but it's cute to see when they're in there. Okay, sorry about the wind. Hopefully it's not too terrible for what you're listening to. Over here we have the Chicago hardy fig, and that is really starting to grow in nicely. And then the veggie gardens over here are just exploding with growth, and they look just beautiful with everything that's growing in here. We have the beautiful dahlias that I'll talk about a little bit more, but the castor beans here are just enormous and beautiful. Just so pretty. I think that they are getting, possibly bigger than they ever have this year. They're really happy in the spot. I was a little bit nervous about them, but obviously nothing to be nervous about. They are giant and very, very healthy. They do look like they're trying to maybe put on some blossoms up in there. Oh, that one back there does have some blossoms on them. I have been picking them off, but it might be time that I might just let them go and let them do what they're gonna do. Talking about this dahlia a little bit, there was this dahlia that was on Roots and Refuge Farm. She had these years ago, and I have been looking for them forever. I didn't know what they were called, and I happened to find them at the Landscape Arboretum this year, and I was hoping that they were the right ones, and it turns out they are. So they're just stunningly kind of a baby pink lavender on the front side of them, and on the back side of them they are like a beautiful purple. So that's just what an amazing flower, and I'm really excited to have found these. Just kind of fun to check things off of the gardening bucket list. So they are doing really well. This one bloomed. The other one over on the other side has a bunch of blooms on it that haven't quite opened yet, but it's really great to see them. For the vegetables, I have these 2 pots that were supposed to have corn growing in them. I have my one little sad corn plant. But I am getting a ton of green beans off of both of these plants. You can see that I will be having a great harvest of green beans tonight. And the little corn that I replanted is sort of coming back in, so maybe. Just kind of touch base on some of these really cool tomatoes over here. They're really starting to set some fruit. These ones are a little bit behind my other ones, but I did plant them a little later, so that kind of makes sense. These are some mortgage lifters that are really starting to get that big, you know, big heirloom beauty to them. And then over here is the black beauty that has had so many blossoms on it. It does look like some of them are dropping, which is okay because there were hundreds. There's no way that the plant could support that, but just to show the beauty of the black on the tomatoes is really a great thing. A couple of things over here that are fun to see is that the yellow daylily, it looks like this will be open in the next day or so. So that one is one of my favorite plants that I grow. It's really the highlight over here in the vegetable garden. And then behind that is the calendula that is finally starting to bloom, and hopefully I'll be able to put a little clip of, I found a bumblebee sleeping in it the other morning, which was just so precious. And oh my gosh, it's the middle of July and the elephant ears are just coming up. They're just babies over here. They're a little bigger in the front, but and then behind here, this will be my 3rd zucchini that I've gotten off of this plant. So the zucchinis are really happy this year, and I'm looking forward to that. I have a couple of new recipes that I've been doing. There's a kind of a fun perspective of the garden. I'm standing in the middle of the of the raised garden. Do we have a chickadee over here being bad? Might be a chickadee over there being bad. That's the blueberry plant, so the chickadee may have found the blueberries. We are having a massive amount of blueberries that are coming off. We just picked them yesterday afternoon, so less than 24 hours ago, and we're already getting this many more to go, so it's beautiful to see. This is also a really fun plant that is doing fun things this year. Is the nasturtium is really just happy in this basket over here. You know, just kind of showing some of the pepper progress, because that's been really impressive this year. These ahi dulce peppers are definitely starting to set more fruit on them. Those first original 2 are getting really big, and just over here there's a lot of fruit set. I am getting a little bit of, like, here you can see a blossom drop, but I mean, I think that can be expected when there's that many flowers being put on. And just kind of a little, you know, the weirdness that's going on in some of these peppers, that it seems like these are normal, but then why are these jalapenos back here are like round? So I must have gotten some wrong seeds in my Craig's Grande jalapenos. Kind of the same thing with this Tam jalapeno that I think I've kind of shown before, but it really is showing now that this plant is growing the peppers normal, that they're going down, and this one is growing peppers up, and they're never really like going down. I thought maybe they would, but that's fine. We'll see what they are. Hopefully they're not really spicy. I think this is the most impressive. This is the ahi dulce that's in a pot, and it's very happy. in the pot. It is starting to flower over here now, really just all over on the plant. So that's great to see that we're gonna have to use our stake pretty soon. I think maybe the last two things is that recently, in the last 4 or 5 days, I have picked my first Berries Crazy cherries, and I'll keep this updated as the summer goes on. So far, and you can see the hundreds and hundreds of blossoms that are on this plant, I've so far picked 61 tomatoes off of it. And so again, I will keep count of how many I get, so that we get some really great numbers to know how well that one does. And it does look like the mandevilla, at least the vine, reached the very top of the trellis, so it looks like that's going to be happy this year too. The bumblebees are in love with this plant. they don't seem to go to a lot of the other ones, but man, do they love this plant. Oh, got a bumblebee fight. And then just over here is the Dr. Witchy's that's really, again, putting on fruit and just getting some big and beautiful fruit sets still going on. So this should be a very prolific plant if everything continues to go well. I do have a little bit of disease, which is a little strange for a plant in a pot. Normally that would come from the ground, and oh, I just saw that squirrel. Look at what the squirrel did again. This is the culantro that I'm trying to grow. I've got this one here, that one there. I did move one over here to try and give it more sun and see if this one would grow a little better. Kind of struggling. And lastly, we can show this because this is really cool. This is a micro dwarf. This is the San Marzano from Brad Gates at Wild Boar Farms. Just setting a ton of ripe fruit, so those will be ready to pick any day now. I'm sure I could pick some of those already. Well, I think that's the end of my garden update for now. We've still not gotten very much rain. It rained on the day of the 4th of July, about ½ an inch. That was 6 days ago, and that was the last rain that we've gotten. So I think it's only rained twice this summer. But it's really hot and humid today. Hopefully it can start triggering some storms and we can get a little bit of rain. So thank you for watching, and happy gardening.